Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marina. I'm a certified lash tech based in Toronto, Canada, and I like making lashing videos. Before I start all my videos, I'd like to put a disclaimer out there that all the tips and tricks that I'm sharing with you guys are just methods and techniques that work for me. In no way, shape, or form am I saying this is the only way to do lash extensions. People have different techniques, so I encourage everybody to go out there and watch other content creators, read different articles to continue learning about different techniques when it comes to lash extensions. So getting into this video today, it is a mega volume set. I haven't done a mega volume set in a long time, so I was really excited to be able to do this set. I really enjoy doing mega volume sets. The only thing is that it takes a long time, especially when someone has a lot of eyelashes, because especially with a mega volume lash set, for myself anyway, I definitely like to get every single eyelash, and I know that some lash techs don't really do every single eyelash when it comes to mega volume because the fans are so wide. But for me, I really hike up the price for mega volume, and so because of that, I really like to give my clients, a bang for their buck and really get that mega volume fullness that they're looking for, because I don't want it to look like a volume set. I really want that mega part of that set to be very prominent, so I make it as thick and dense as possible. So I'm going to share a few tips that I do when it comes to doing a mega volume set and what kind of helped me, because prior to post-COVID, pre-COVID, I used to use pre-made fans that I would make, but the retention wasn't that great. So I've been making my fans as I go, and this is really throughout any of my sets, whether it's hybrid volume or mega volume, I am now continuing to do my sets. But the first tip that I wanted to share with you guys is that, sometimes pre-mades kind of help speed up the process when doing mega volume sets, because for me, I just find that because the fans are so wide, it's really hard to sometimes isolate certain lashes, so you might have to lash in layers or use different taping methods. And I'll get into the taping method a little bit later, which is one of the tips I want to share with you guys. But in terms of kind of using pre-mades, yes, it doesn't last as long, but because the fans are so wide, the ones that aren't pre-made will last longer and still give that full effect. And it's not like pre-mades are gonna fall out the next day. If you make pre-mades properly, they could last like a week or even longer, depending on how you apply the pre-made as well. Just use as little glue as possible and you'll still be able to get that effect. But it takes, well, for me right now, because I'm still trying to improve my mega volume sets and kind of hike up my lash speed time, pre-mades kind of help me navigate where I'm at, because like I said, for example, for this client, I had a client right after her, and so I had to be very prompt with my time. And because I was running out of time around the hour mark to my next client, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to speed up. Let's use my pre-mades. And I have a few pre-mades that I made a while back, and I store them underneath my lash bed. So if I'm really in a rush, I'll just go ahead, grab my pre-mades and start using them, because honestly, it definitely does help. It just kind of lets me apply my lash extensions like classic lashes. But again, I don't even do 50% of pre-mades. I might do maybe like 20%. I try to keep it mostly handmade so that the retention is there and that, they're not gonna have issues in the next week or so because their lashes are falling out. Like, that is the last thing I want. So again, if you're a very, very experienced lash artist, you'll know that you can, lashing is pretty, you get better as time goes on and the more practice you have. So just keep that in mind, because mega volume, this set took me 4 hours. I think even maybe a little bit longer than 4 hours, and I had to really rush when my next client was coming, and it was really stressful. So once I don't know about you guys, but when I get stressed out, when my next client is about to come, I actually start getting kind of nervous, and my work starts to not look as great as it could have been if I just kind of had a cool and collected mind going into the set. So the pre-mates just kind of help me get that anxiety of the way, get the set done on time, and also still give you that fullness. And a lot of the time too, I would kind of suggest adding the pre-mates throughout the eye in different spots so that when you're applying the pre-mates, they're not going to be falling out in one section of the eye. So of course with this set, I have like the middle, like you guys can see that there's the middle left to do, but I added some pre-mates in the outer and inner corners, and then I'll probably go ahead and add some more in the middle. So my second tip that I wanted to get into was using tape to help isolate certain lashes. So here I slowed down the time. You can see here that I have some medical tape. It is the same tape that I'm using to lift our lids up. So before you're going to apply the tape like I am here, you're going to want to get that tackiness off of it. So I sanitized my hands before, and I just go ahead and put the tape on my hand and kind of rip it off a few times so that the tackiness isn't as sticky, because obviously if it's really sticky and you go to remove it later, it's going to really pull on those lashes, and it could actually hurt the client, but also make it more difficult for you to continue lashing because you're trying to get all those lashes off of the tape. The reason that I actually use a taping method like this one is because it allows me to really get those lashes where I need them to be, because sometimes what happens when there's so many mega volume lashes, it gets in the way, and at times, because the fans are so wide, I'll get glue on the tips of the lashes, and obviously you don't want that, because then it starts to make the tips adhere together, and it starts to look kind of like, I don't know, like messy, a little spiky. And also when you're gonna brush through those lashes, they're not gonna look as great and as fluffy as you want them to be. So doing the taping method actually allows me to just isolate the lashes a lot better and also a lot cleaner. And for my third tip and my last tip, I would also recommend being very conscious of the humidity in your room and how much your glue is drying. So with mega volume, like I said before, it is very wide fans, meaning that it's very dense. And if your glue isn't drying at a high speed or the speed that you are comfortable with, they're gonna start sticking together. And when they start sticking together, because 0.03 fans are so thin, when they stick together, it is so hard to peel them apart because the fibers are so thin, and all those little tiny fibers like stick together next to one another, and then you have a huge clump. And I've had so many incidences prior to this set, of course, but also prior to me being more experienced. It was really difficult, and I would be out there trying to tug on these lashes. Once I had to use lash remover and actually remove 3 lashes that stuck together, because the last thing you want is your client to go home and all her lashes are clumped together, thus ruining her natural lash, right? Because the purpose of lash extensions is to be able to add some glam into their life without damaging them. So make sure that the humidity is at that rate that you need it at. And again, guys, if you're having trouble with your humidity, get a curing solution. The curing solution is my best friend. It helps me speed up my lash time, really allows me to kind of isolate, attach, wait maybe like 2 seconds, and then I could move on to the next lash. So those are some things to keep in mind, especially with mega volume sets. And I have a few more tips and tricks, but I will save that for another video because I will be having another mega volume video coming out soon. I had another client come because I did have a promo. So stay tuned for that. It'll be here in the near future, and I'll try to give you guys as many tips as I can and maybe get into humidity a little bit more. But this one, I kind of want to focus on the taping method and how it kind of helped me, but also give you guys 2 extra tips as well, because these are just things that I've noticed for myself when I'm lashing, and things that kind of frustrated me in the past that I was able to really kind of like hone down on and fix. So this is just something that I hope that you guys can keep in mind, and maybe in the future it'll help you guys. And if you guys have any tips that will help you as well, please share them with me, because sometimes I still have issues with mega volume. It still takes me like 4 to 5 hours sometimes, which is a ridiculous amount of time, but mega volume just is really time consuming and very, very fluffy and wide. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope that you took something away from this video. If you have any questions or any concerns or even constructive criticism, please leave a comment down below. I really appreciate the engagement, and thank you guys for being so nice. This community is very supportive and makes me really excited to continue making these videos. And I post every Sunday around 6:15. If you like this video or helped you guys out, please hit that thumbs up button. It really, really helps me out. And if you're new here and you like my videos, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. If not, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye!